All right, let's talk about that little piece of plastic in your wallet. For some of us, it's a source of constant stress, right? But for others, it's an incredible financial tool. Today, we're going to flip the script and make sure it's working for you, not against you. Let's dive in.
So this is the big question, isn't it? Is your credit card a powerful tool or is it a really dangerous trap? I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Use it the right way and you're building credit, racking up rewards, and getting all this great protection. But make one little slip up and boom, you can find yourself in this nasty cycle of debt. The goal here is simple. We're going to make sure you're the one in control, wielding that tool and not getting stuck in the trap. Okay, so first things first. Before we can master this tool, we've got to know where the traps are hidden. We're going to look at the most common credit traps. You know, the small mistakes that can snowball into really big problems. And hey, if any of this stuff sounds familiar, don't sweat it. Just spotting these is half the battle.
Wow, look at this number, nearly 50%. Think about that. A survey from Bankrate found that almost half of all Americans are carrying a credit card balance from one month to the next. This isn't just some abstract statistic. It's a massive financial weight on millions of people, a lot of times because, life happens and unexpected expenses pop up. So how do so many of us end up in this spot? Well, it usually boils down to one of these three big traps. First up, making only the minimum payments. This is a killer because almost all of that money is just feeding the interest monster, not actually paying down what you owe. The second trap is carrying that balance month after month, which lets that interest grow and grow like a weed. And the third one? Spending way too close to your credit limit. This one is a direct hit to your credit score, and we're going to dig into why that is in just a little bit.
All right, enough with the doom and gloom, right? Let's get into the solutions. We're talking about building responsible habits. This is your absolute first line of defense against debt. This is how you really take the wheel and get back in control.
Okay, I want to introduce you to a term that sounds way more complicated than it is, your credit utilization ratio. Seriously, don't let the name scare you. All it means is the percentage of your available credit that you're actually using. So let's say your credit limit is 10 grand and you've got a $2,000 balance on the card. Simple math, right? Your utilization is 20%. And here's the key. When lenders see a low number, they think, okay, this person isn't maxing out their cards, they're responsible. And that is a very, very good thing. So what's the magic number? It's 30%. You're going to hear this everywhere from financial experts, and for good reason. The golden rule is to keep your credit utilization below that 30% mark. That goes for your total credit and for each individual card. Why? Because staying under that line sends a crystal clear signal to lenders that you've got your finances under control and you're not living on the edge. And if you're wondering why that 30% rule is such a big deal, well, just look at this. This data from Bankrate is pretty mind-blowing. If your utilization is below 30%, your approval odds for new credit are a whopping 91%. But the second you cross that line, the approval rate drops all the way down to 66%. I mean, that is a massive difference, especially when you really need to get that loan or new card. Okay, but what if you're listening to this and thinking, my utilization is already way over 30%? I'm already in debt. First of all, take a breath. Don't panic. There are proven, battle-tested plans to help you demolish that debt. Let's walk through two of the absolute best strategies to pay off your balance for good. So there are two main paths to get you to debt-free, the Avalanche and the Snowball. The Avalanche method is all about logic and math. You attack the debt with the highest interest rate first, which in the long run saves you the most money. Then you've got the Snowball method. This one is all about psychology and momentum. You knock out your smallest debts first to get those quick wins, which feels amazing and keeps you motivated. So how does the Avalanche method work? It's pretty straightforward. Step 1, you list out every single one of your debts, but you order them by interest rate from highest to lowest. Step 2, you throw every spare penny you have at that debt at the top of the list, the most expensive one. For all your other debts, you just make the minimum payments. And then, this is the magic part, once that first debt is totally wiped out, you take all the money you were paying on it and you roll it over to the next debt on your list. From a pure math perspective, this is the fastest and cheapest way to get out of debt. And then we have the Snowball method. The process is almost the same, but with one key difference. Here, you list your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. You focus all your firepower on that tiniest debt first. Once it's gone, and this can happen pretty fast, you get this incredible feeling of accomplishment. It's a quick win that gives you a massive motivational boost. Then, just like the Avalanche, you roll that payment over to the next smallest debt. That feeling of progress just builds on itself, creating this unstoppable snowball effect. Okay, We've talked about the traps, we've laid out the battle plans for getting out of debt. Now let's put it all together into your personal financial toolkit. Think of this as the ultimate checklist for smart credit use, the habits that are going to make sure your credit is always an asset, never a liability. All right, here we go. Your smart credit checklist. Let's run through it. Number 1, always pay your bill on time. Always. It's the single biggest factor for your credit score. Number 2, pay your balance in full whenever you possibly can. This is how you avoid paying a single cent in interest. 3, keep that credit utilization below 30%. We know why that's so important now. 4, keep an eye on your transactions and your credit score. Check it regularly. And finally, number 5, keep your old accounts open. That long credit history is like gold for your score, so don't throw it away. You know, this quote from Sean Salter, a finance professor, really hits the nail on the head. He says, credit cards are a financial tool, but it's very difficult to maintain the discipline necessary to use them to your advantage. And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? It's not just about knowing the stuff. The real secret sauce, the thing that makes a credit card a powerful tool instead of a dangerous trap, is simple discipline. It's about building those good habits and sticking with them. So I want to leave you with one final thought, a question, really. We've covered a ton of ground, but information without action is, well, it's just information. So what is the one thing, the one single habit that you're going to change starting today? Maybe it's setting up autopay so you're never late again. Maybe it's finally calculating your utilization ratio. Or maybe it's time to write down that debt list and start your Avalanche or Snowball plan. Whatever it is, that first step, that's all on you.